Hey, what's up, homies? It's your big homie Chuku Sam. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I'm back. And today's subject is, why are Mexicans in Houston afraid or ashamed to use the word Chicano? And I noticed this mainly because, well, when I was growing up back in the late 70s and the 80s and the early part of the 90s, people use that word a lot, you know? People used to be proud of that word. I still see a few people supporting the word and using the word, you know, identifying as Chicano, identifying as Chicana. You got this new thing, the Chicano X, which I don't understand. I think that's a whole different political agenda. But anyhow, the word Chicano and Chicana, you know, all the word means, and I'll say it again, I sound like a broken record. All that word means is the son or daughter of Mexico, the people of the sun, the Aztecs. But anyhow, back to the point. I noticed that a lot of people here in Houston, especially the youngsters or the people that are into the rap culture, refrain or kind of steer away from calling themselves Chicano. They call themselves Mexicans from down south, or Southern Mexicans, or just Mexican. For example, the one rapper guy, Mexican OT, he's one of them. That guy from that podcast, Mo Hustle, he's another one. And you got some from California that do the same thing too, but there's the younger, newer rappers that do that shit. The veteranos, they don't give a fuck. They're Chicano. They're the motherfucker. But what I'm saying is, here in Houston mainly, they always say the same thing over and over. Well, I'm not Chicano. I'm a Tejano. Well, you know what? We grew up over here with blacks. We never did that Cali thing. Or you know, Houston and Texas are two different worlds. I mean, not Houston and Texas. Texas and Cali, I'm tripping. Texas and Cali are two different worlds, you know? Yeah, same thing over and over. From both sides. The thing is, you can be a Tejano and a Chicano at the same time. Yes, you can. You know, if you were born on these lands and your ancestry goes back to Mexico, guess what, man? You're a Chicano. Whether you're first generation, second generation, third, 10th, 11th generation, don't matter. Your blood, your lineage is what makes you Chicano. You know what I'm saying? And that's something to be proud of. Now, not everybody's a Chicano. Okay? You have to have Mexican blood in you, Mexica blood in you. You know what I'm saying? It's a Mexican thing. I mean, I know that sounds racist and shit like that, but Asian cannot be a Chicano. You know what I'm saying? A Caucasian cannot be a Chicano. Puerto Ricans can't be a Chicano. Puerto Ricans are, you know, Boricuas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own thing. So, back to what I was saying, you know, back in the days when I was growing up, it wasn't so taboo-ish, man. It was something to be proud of. I remember the first time I heard that word, Chicano. I didn't know what that word was because they never taught us that in school. They don't teach you that kind of stuff, man. They don't teach you anything. They barely teach you about Black history, and that's just a little bit. They mainly focus on Lewis and Clark and Davy Crockett and this shit and that, and Christopher Columbus, which I don't even know why the hell they still teach that. It's already been proven that was a whole fake ass story. But you know, Chicanos could be from anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the world. A Chicano is not just confined to the state of California. California does not own that word. That word does not just pertain to people from over there. Now I know that they call themselves that, and they're right. They're correct because they are. And for a Chicano from Texas to deny that he's Chicano, that's a disgrace. That's an embarrassment. I mean, and a lot of people here do it. They well, I'm not Chicano. I'm Tejano, but they use the N word and shit. Not only do they use the N word, they just take on this whole persona and try to act like somebody that they're not. I'm sorry. Now, I understand. You're a product of your environment. You're gonna be the way you are, depending on where you grew up and how that environment was. If you grew up amongst nothing but blacks, then you're gonna act like that, and that's okay. I mean, if you're Mexican and you grew up around nothing but whites and you act white, shit, that's the way you grew up. I'm not trying to take nothing away from anybody, but it's the Mexicans or the Chicanos that know better that try to perpetrate and act like something they're not. And you can tell too when you talk to these people, because like when they're at home and they speak to their parents, they speak normal in Spanish and they speak normal in English. But when they hit the streets or they're out in public and oh man and this and that and nigga this and que la verga, dude, stop, man. You don't talk like that, bro. You just don't, I'm not saying that you necessarily have to speak like hey vato, what's up, ese and shit like that. I'm not trying to turn you into like one of them fools from Blood In and Blood Out. I'm not. You can talk normal. I mean, you can speak normal, and that's the way you talk. But don't try to fake the funk. Same thing goes for people that speak normal, then try to talk like a ese. That shit. I mean, just don't fake the funk and talk the way you talk, man. But back to the main point. Like when I was growing up, to us, being Chicano was a good thing, man. It was something to be proud of, and a lot of people frowned up upon it, man. Believe it or not, a lot of people didn't like that word, man. They used to call us wetbags, even though I was born here. They used to call us beaners, tacos, all kinds of shit, man. We used to get it from both sides too. Like people will make fun of the way we dressed, the way we talked, our little accents and shit. Make fun of us because of our, big pantalones, or oversized, shirts and shit like that. Even when we didn't used to dress like that, even when we dressed normal with khakis and stuff, they used to fucking make fun of us still anyways, man. When we used to tuck in, and iron our shit, they used to make fun of us still. They used to say, oh man, this and that. I bet you all Mexicans back in my day were suspected of carrying knives. Not all Mexicans carry knives. Not all Chicanos are gangbangers or gang members or out to get anybody or steal shit from anybody. You know what I'm saying? Not all Chicanos smoke weed and shit and steal and beat up their women. That's all that stereotype shit, man. They used to stereotype us. I mean, people used to look down on us, but we didn't give a fuck. We kept on doing what we were doing. And the most fucking fucked up part about that is that our own raza, our own Chicanos used to fucking talk down on us too. Ah, man, those fucking long ass shorts. You know what I'm saying? Those long ass fucking, those long ass socks. The hairnet and that flannel and shit. You know what I'm saying? Those gangster nights. But now everybody's fucking doing it. See, nobody likes like seems to like Chicanos or vatos or S's or cholos or whatever or bachucos. They don't like us, but and they make fun of us and shit like that. You know, throughout the years and shit. But as soon as it's popping, As soon as it's popular or it's trending, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. All of a sudden, oh man, you know, I used to dress like this. And like, man, my motherfuckers, no, you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know what? I'm kind of on both sides of the fence about that because, you know, at least these kids now, they're trying to like preserve it or bring it back somehow. But they need to know the history behind it. I remember when I used to dress like that, not only did I get made fun of and shit talked to, you know, I always used to be a target for the police. You know, it goes back to stereotyping. The police always suspected us of doing shit, even though we weren't doing anything. Other gang members or other neighborhoods would pick on us. I remember when I was a kid, man, probably like 10 years old, I used to get chased by these big old fucking dudes, probably in their 20s and 30s and shit, because they were from a different neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Trying to check me and shit. Times have changed. Everything's trendy. Everything is like on TikTok with music on the background and shit. You know, little fucking sparklies and, you know, see who's more popular and shit. You know, oh, look at me. You know, like that. But back then, it's like, man, it was just a normal way of dress. It's not a style either. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of living, man. It's a culture thing. Whether you want to fucking appreciate it or admire it or not, or acknowledge it or not. Cholo culture, Pachuco culture, Chicano culture, lowrider culture, even gang culture is part of your culture, whether you like it or not. You know? And, you know, and that's another thing too. There's a lot of people that, you know, go out and play the part, but they're not really down with it. Like I remember when I went to go watch Blood In, Blood Out, there was a lot of people that just went there to troll, man. Just went there to make fun of the movie. I mean, it was a funny movie and shit, but the way they were doing it was in a hateful way. With Chicanos, man, you know, they either love us or they don't. And it's mostly here in Texas. And I'm going to tell you something, man. You know, the Chicano, if you're a Chicano, you're a Chicano, bro. If you're mom and dad, if your grandpa or your great grandparents was born in Mexico, and you were born here, or if your parents were born here, you know what I'm saying? If somebody back in the day was in your family and your lineage was born in Mexico, originally from Mexico, and now your family's established here in the United States, you're a Chicano, man. Plain and simple. It has nothing to do with California politics or Texas politics. It's a word that you should embrace. It's a word that the Gabachos tried to smut. They try to make it into a dirty word. For a long time during the 1930s, 1940s, 50s, that word was considered derogatory, a slur word, because that's the way they used it towards us, that dirty Mexican, that dirty greaser, that dirty Chicano. that beaner, fucking wetbag and shit. All those words that they used to call us, man. Pochos. The word Chicano itself was never a slur or an insult. It was never a word to put anybody down. It's just a word that means that we're from Mexico, that we originate from Mexico, that we're the people of the sun. That's all it means. And it's part of our history. Now, for people to take it and try to make it into an agenda, that's a different story. But that's all I'm saying. Don't be ashamed of using that word. Don't be afraid or embarrassed to use that word. At the end of the day, you're gonna do what you want to do because you're you. You're your own person. You're your own man. You're your own woman. You don't have to be a motherfucking cholo like me, or talk like me, or talk like those dudes from the movies and shit. Like, you don't have to, man. Just as long as you acknowledge and comprehend and understand what the word means and what it means for our gente. I mean, and you gotta do it correct too, man. You can't be Chicano and try to perpetrate and act like you're a different race. Because once you do that, technically you are still Chicano, but you're not doing it properly. You're making a mockery out of it. I hope I'm making sense, and I try to teach, and I know I got videos on here where I just talk shit. I'd rather make videos that teach the raza and unite the raza together than to divide them. I'll be honest with you. But I'm still stuck in my ways a little bit. And the only reason I do that is because I'm trying to get my point across. Because it makes me angry that there's a lot of misinformation on the internet. Especially like on Google and stuff like that. They get shit all wrong. And I'll make some videos in the future and I'll point that stuff out, man, and you'll see. But anyways, have a happy Monday, man. A productive work week, and I'll see you al ratos.